What's going on, crypto family, especially Casper family? Hope you are doing well. This is a quick update on Casper, Sunday, August 23rd, 2026. So this is a bear market update on potential catalyst for Casper, price performance for the week. Of course, it's been an amazing week for crypto right now, and performance versus BTC, which has been relatively weak, but I do believe Casper has more or less bottomed versus BTC. One of the biggest gatekeepers for Casper right now is the lack of exchanges. And big up VJ here, who obviously, Grok Wild, randomly mentions the Casper community regarding the Gemini countdown. Now, Gemini could be listing Casper. We need listings, and I'm going to show you why Casper needs liquidity beyond the community. So Casper, as you know, is not listed on any major exchange apart from OKX. I believe it's on Robinhood, but in terms of real big exchanges, there's no Coinbase, Gemini, of course, Binance. And one of the reasons why I think Casper's price slightly held back, because at one point we were averaging well over $1 billion in daily transaction volumes. Right now, it's just down to $9.7 million. Does that make Casper a bad investment? Absolutely not. It just shows you that the volume is not there compared to others. I'll give you an example, okay? As we've got to be fair when we're analyzing these tokens. So let's have a look at Monad's daily transaction volume. Now, it's listed, granted, on all the big exchanges, right? So you got 69 million here as an average daily transaction. That is way more than $9 million, right? So where Monad benefits is it's on the likes of Coinbase. You can find it on the big exchanges, and particularly in Coinbase. I mean, it's doing significant amount of Bybit, Gate, but it does have that logo that, it contains Coinbase as a potential place for liquidity, although the majority of the liquidity here comes from Bybit. Okay, OKX is not bad as well. Whereas if you look at CAS, our markets right now, our Casper markets are Gate, KuCoin, BitGet, Kraken, sorry, not Robinhood, Kraken, Bybit. So these are average, and I mean, the highest average here, probably looking at 1.5 million from KuCoin. A lot of the trading or the volume on other coins is quite artificial, right? So market makers then take the coin and start wash trading. So you've got to pay attention to what the volume does. But if we had a Coinbase, if we had a Binance, if we had few more exchanges, I think this would be in the millions. I mean, potentially in the billions. It should be in the billions, like it was when Casper was trading around $5 billion in market cap valuation. So that is key. That is the main concern right now for most people. Am I concerned? Absolutely not, because the way I look at Casper is probably different. As a macro investor, I'm not after short-term gains. Crypto is about to take off, and we're about to see this go into the billions. In my opinion, the community, the technology, the trilemma, we can talk about the smart contracts. We can talk about all of those catalysts, but right now it's just in accumulation range. And I can prove that to you by just looking at nearly the last year, really. If you look at these candles here on the weekly, we have been in this range, bouncing up and down from here. And I do believe at the moment, we are seeing that resistance on the weekly, the 20-week moving average, the red line is the gatekeeper. But beyond that, if I look at this on the daily, you're starting to see we are at resistance in this golden line, which is, of course, this 100-day moving average. It's between the 50-week as support and the 100-day as resistance. So what do I see happening next? Now, largely, this depends on Bitcoin dominance. It depends on Casper's BTC trading pair, which is, like I said, has absolutely found a bottom, in my opinion. It's just, if it's falling back, it's got a very, very shallow channel to fall back into. It's not going to be a crazy, crazy fall. So Casper, just like Bitensa Tau, it's one of these tokens, one of these coins, I should say, that is giving people the opportunity before it goes absolutely parabolic. And how do we know it's going to go parabolic? Well, when eventually Bitcoin moves, we are going to see performance of of monumental nature. If I show you a different chart for CAS, and again, you can compare this to the likes of Bitensa Tau, even though it's a multi-billion-dollar market cap at a massive, it's way bigger than Casper, right? In terms of its market cap, it's holding well over 2 billion. But what I expect to see is a performance similar to what we got back in 2023. I can actually see Casper moving at least 20 to 40x in the coming years. Now, do I put a time frame on that? Absolutely not. Could it go down a lot more? Potentially, because we are at a key level of support. But what you have to understand when you're buying Casper, you understand you're holding a coin that is different from the majority of coins. And I do have key levels to the downside. We talked about the DCA strategy that we were doing. We've been buying this. I've been buying this for multiple years. I have obviously made decent money when, selling a portion of my tokens back in 2024, near to the all-time high. I didn't get the exact top. I think I got around 18 cents, which was brilliant because that time I turned a few $1,000s into 100. I think in the end I took out about $180,000 worth of profits. And I do believe having a significant bag right now, I just have to wait for the noise to die down. There is a lot more to the macro. We discussed that daily in the Discord. But if you are a Casper fan, and if you're sweating right now saying, oh man, we've only moved, 8% in the last 7 days while crypto has been absolutely flying, you have to understand the dynamics here. We are doing volume, which is, almost probably 7x where the market cap valuation is. And it doesn't really work like that in a bull market. In a bull market, a cryptocurrency like this, regardless of even exchange listings, will have, of course, a monumental rise. So while the price performance overall has been flat, while the downtrend still has not been broken, we have not turned bullish until we claim sustained momentum above the 100 moving average. And of course, we flip major bull run into the green line here, into the 200-day or 200-week moving average. Then we will have a sustained Casper run. How do I overall interpret this? Well, it's good to have the listing discussions about, Gemini and this and that. I think for me, it's more of a long-term play that is lagging the market in terms of the double-digit gains that the market has been showing. And my main strategy is just accumulation. If you have enough, Casper, you can sit back down, lock your wallets, and chill out and wait for the performance to happen. But this is exactly these kind of coins that have made me crazy money in the past. And I'm just going to rinse and repeat what has worked very successfully for me in the past. I don't think the exchange listing determines the overall direction, but I do need, it is going to be critical for Casper to find more liquidity outside of Entity X. Okay. So, the price here, the price performance for me, we need to have a candle closure above this golden line here. This is exactly where resistance is. You can actually see that. If I even remove this green box here, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. This is where the battle of Casper lies right now. I hope you like the video, guys. We get above this line, that will be the first signs of the resistance being broken. And of course, if we get to the second line here at around just over 3.5 cents, I think once we get to this level, we are confirmed broken the downtrend and we are in a bull run. Okay, so there are two key lines to watch, of course. Below that, if you look at the price, more specifically, this candle here, we may come back and test this, 50-day moving average, falling back to the 20-day as support. These are all supports based on the chart at the moment. But I would not be bearish on this. In fact, any pullbacks, like I said to you, if you look at this on the weekly, you still have the ghost of this wick here, right? You still have the ghost of this wick here. Now, this wick was most cryptocurrencies have taken out their October manipulation candles to the downside. And I do believe this is an area of interest for me right now. If you go back to October times, let's just go reset this chart. Yeah, so if you go back to this major manipulation wick here, you could see we have been through that. And of course, I would honestly, on the USD price, so Casper, USD, you would see that clearly here, right? You could see this was the October 20th candle. You don't see it on its USDT pair, you see it on its USD pair. And this is the area where right now my focus is heavily on, right? You could see we're holding support above this, but should we come back down, then that will be one last opportunity. Anybody who tells you they know exactly where the market is going, this is all mechanical work, right? This is not, the opinions are mine. Of course, it's not financial advice, but some people will say the bottom is in. And I would argue we need to hold this level in order to avoid Casper USD price taking that out. Now, of course, everybody is bullish right now. Everybody is saying the Bitcoin lows are in. I tend to agree in the sense that if we claim what is happening right now, confidence into the US dollar is at an all-time low, right? So Bitcoin right now, quite simply, needs to get above 82,859. And if we do dip back, as long as we stay above between a range of 69,000, which is the massive support region from the previous cycle's all-time high, to about $65,000, then what we're likely to form is a pattern that gives us a nice lower high before we ultimately go and break that resistance. So what's happening right now is incredibly bullish as long as we stay above 65,000. All right. Hope you liked the video. Smash a like as always. And of course, big up to the Casper community, and I'll catch you on the next one.